Hi there, I'm Alex from the Southern Ukulele Store, and today we're going to talk about one of my favourite ukulele brands. They're quirky, they're unique, completely unforgettable. It's Romero Creations. Romero Creations, one of the few brands where I can really pinpoint the moment that I saw one for the first time and absorbed what it was about and learned about it. It was at the NAMM show a few years back. I remember thinking, this is exactly what's currently missing from the ukulele market, a good quality, compact instrument inspired by elements of the ukulele and classical guitar. And that summary is a very, very good introduction to Pepe Romero Jr., the man behind the brand himself. Pepe Romero Jr. was quite literally born into musical royalty. How many people can say that? His dad, his grandfather, and his uncle have all been knighted by the King of Spain for services to classical guitar, and Pepe himself has been building instruments since he was, I think, 17 or 18. He started in 1997 and served as apprentice to several of the world's top classical guitar builders. Many of them aren't actually here anymore, so he embodies the kind of the carrying forward their legacies. Why does this matter with the context of the ukulele? Well, in 2010, so well into his career already, Pepe went on a family holiday to Hawaii and fell in love with the ukulele, as so many people have done. That hearing the uke in its proper context for the first time, it really taught him about it, and he went back to his Southern California workshop and began building ukuleles inspired by the methods and techniques that he had mastered over 13-14 years already on classical guitar. Fast forward a couple more years, he founded Romero Creations with his friend. This is the Vietnamese made high quality ukulele that, being made in a factory, makes it affordable to more people. And price wise, the best indicator of what to expect I can give you is that you'll find a Romero Creations is just that tiny bit cheaper than a Hawaiian K brand, so a Kanalea, Kamaka, Koaloha. But quality wise, it really gives those ukes a run for its money. So by not being made in Hawaii or California, you're saving just that little bit of money, and it allows them to be made in slightly bigger numbers. But if you look at the serial numbers on our website, you'll often find that these are made in as little as kind of 30 or 40 per batch a year. Anyway, that was a very long-winded introduction, but I really wanted to get across what Pepe Romero Jr. is about, because having met him twice, he's one of those people who has kind of just boundless energy and enthusiasm for what he's doing, big smile on his face, and I really, really hope that this video does his brand justice. We're going to look at the Signature Series first, and eventually move on to the Tiny Tenors and the Grand Tenors, and some STC, the middle size too. But let's take it away with those Signature Series ukes. Okay, these first two ukuleles we're going to look at they're really, really cool big tenors, aren't they? Well, you'd be wrong, because as we pan back, you'll notice that they have shorter necks. This ukulele on my left is the SM, the Signature Model Soprano, a soprano ukulele with a tenor body. And then here you have the CM, another Signature mahogany concert ukulele, so a concert scale neck with the tenor body. And the bigger sound paired with the shorter scale length makes for a completely unique experience. I'm going to focus on the SM when talking about the instruments, but the spec of these is both relevant to both models. Focusing on the SM for a second, you have this all solid mahogany body. It's a tenor size body with an elongated lower bout, so almost a kind of grand tenor size body in many ways, with the sound hole, you'll notice, right up joining with the fingerboard. It's much higher placed on the body than on a normal ukulele, so that the bridge can go higher and keep the scale length as a soprano. So it does look a bit strange. It's a bit of an optical illusion at first. You have a 38mm nut on a nice round neck. There's kind of a flat point at the back in the first position, so kind of goes from a U shape to more of a C, maybe a D, as you move up the neck. You have that tiny headstock with the closed back Romero tuners to keep everything as compact as possible, so it fits in your suitcase when you're traveling, fits into smaller gig bags where possible. You have the string through bridge, so the strings go straight into the body, which keeps everything clean and tidy, and it can take a little bit longer to get used to this, but once you sort of master this bridge, I personally favour them, and many people do. There are side dots as well, which is something that many of you asked me to mention in these videos, and an abalone rosette on the top. All of this spec is relevant to the Concert 2, which comes with the same body size, but with the slightly longer 15-inch concert scale. You still have a 38mm nut, same neck shape. These ukuleles are two sides of the same coin when you look at them up close, a nice deep body as well. But how do they sound? That's the thing. Let's give the SM and then the CM a play and see what you think. Next up today, folks, we're going to look at the STC series. This is the concert incarnation of the Tiny Tenor, the XS Soprano. It's a compact, not quite a pineapple, not quite a teardrop. It's just a compact concert ukulele with its own sound, its own style. Visually, it's different to everything else out there. It reminds me from a distance of like an oud or a bouzouki. And sound-wise, it has slightly darker and deeper tone to the other ukes in the Romero range, and certainly other concert ukes around the same price. I'm going to focus on the Mango one, then talk about the Koa next. The Mango one has an all-solid sportive Mango body. They all look completely different. We serialised each one that we sell, so keep an eye out on the website and just you might find one that looks completely different to this, but the spalting on this one is particularly interesting. Most of the dark wood is right there on the butt of the uke. You have a 35mm nut width, a slightly more slender nut width. It actually measures as somewhere between 35 and 36, and the string spacing is nice and wide, so it's, despite its smaller stature, the Tiny Tenor and the STC ukes both feel quite big in the hand. That's until you get to the headstock. It's got that same headstock as the other Romeros with the closed back tuners to keep things compact. And yes, just once again, let's look at that body shape. Very curvy. There's no inward dip in the lower bout. This one's all bum. It just continually gets more peach shaped as it goes down. And then the bottom is almost flat. I haven't tried resting one of these flat. Let's do that now and see if they stand. Oh, what do you know? They are high gloss, including the neck, so everything about this is high gloss and very shiny and new looking. And you have an ebony fingerboard and bridge, once again with the string through bridge. You'll notice on the Tiny Tenor and the STCs that they have some compensation on the bridge saddle as well. I find them to be quite a precise instrument compared to other ukes on the market, but once again they do have a more dark inward sound. Like when you're playing it, you're definitely the one experiencing the full range of the tones, and they might not necessarily be loud enough for an audience without putting a pickup inside them. Anyway, I've talked about the Mango one. Finally, you've got that little abalone rosette as well. Let's have a look at the Koa one next. Koa one is all the same features. It's Hawaiian Koa, all solid on the top, back and sides. Really nice Koa on this one as well, with the abalone rosette once again. Ebony fingerboard and bridge, 35mm nut with that headstock, and the closed back tuners. And these come with a padded bag as well, so the STCs come ready to travel with. Really good padded bag. I'm going to give the STC Mango and then the STC Koa a play and see what you guys think. Okay, if you're getting a sense of deja vu, then that's completely understandable, because we are looking at the same body shape and size as before, but this time on a tenor neck. So this is the Tiny Tenor, perhaps the most well-known of the Romero Creations ukuleles, and certainly going back pre-2017 where we started stocking them here at SUS, they appeared to be the kind of flagship model for the brand. But what is the Tiny Tenor? What makes it special? Well, it's a tiny tenor, which, to elaborate, means it's a tenor that should fit into a concert ukulele gig bag. For those that want to be able to travel or be able to play a tenor-sized ukulele without the extra 8 to 10 centimeters, which can be crucial if you're using a suitcase. Also, if you want something that has a bigger sound but something that fits nicely under the arm, this is the kind of ukulele that you can put your arm at the bottom and still strum over the sweet spot of the neck. And under the top of this body shape, we should talk about a reversed bracing. So the whole instrument's been designed upside down inside. So a normal ukulele inside would have the bracing this way with the sound hole there and the bridge there. What they've done is reverse those things when making the body shape. So you still have the stiffness, the toughness, resilience and percussiveness of a classical guitar, but reduced down to this size. Once again, it's a all high gloss finish. I'm holding the Koa one right now, which is a very quirky looking Koa one actually, very different to the norm, with ebony fingerboard and bridge, with the same headstock as the STCs and the closed back Romero Creations tuners. The nut width I didn't measure before starting the video. Sorry, see, sometimes I do it on the go. The nut width on the tenor is decidedly bigger than the STC model. This is a 38mm nut width. So if you're umming and ahhing between the two models, consider them to be very, very similar. This feels like a tenor ukulele, but it also feels much smaller. The STC feels like a concert ukulele, but also feels slightly bigger. So they're both somewhere in the middle, and if you're umming and ahhing about which one, and you might find that that nut width is the deciding factor for you. Once again, you have a Mango version. They both have abalone rosettes and the same features as mentioned. and they're just really cool. If you want something different, you can't really go wrong with a tiny tenor. Let's give them a play and see what you think. Last up today, we're going to look at perhaps the most popular of the Romero Creations ukuleles. This is the Grand Tenor series. Now they do this in Koa, Mango and Mahogany, I should mention. I only have the Koa and the Mango one available to show you today. But what makes a Grand Tenor so grand? Well, the size of this ukulele is about 5 to 10% bigger than your average tenor. It's not quite a baritone, it's not quite a super tenor, but what you get is very much a pared down and inspired classical guitar style ukulele. Now that can sometimes sound like a swear word, but if you're a fingerstyle player or you're somebody that wants warmth and depth and just the most dynamic possible ukulele, then a Grand Tenor is a fantastic choice. The Grand Tenor differs to the replica that we're not going to feature today but have featured previously, in that the Grand Tenor still has the smaller headstock. It's still very much a contemporary modern style instrument. The replica is based on vintage ukulele designs, whereas I feel like this is the culmination of Pepe Romero Jr.'s own journey as a builder over the years. So I'm going to look at the Koa one first. All solid Koa on the top, back and sides. Really nice straight grain. Often makes for a much more direct sound. You have an ebony fingerboard and bridge with the abalone rosette. As I mentioned previously, you still have the smaller Romero Creations headstock and those closed back tuners with a 38mm nut and a really nice thin round neck, which feels different to the other ukuleles here. It feels bigger just because the lack of depth to the neck gives your fingers more choice and more selection to move up the fingerboard. Yeah, I like the Grand Tenors. I don't apologise for that, and I'm definitely not going to hide it, because I think that if you want a super tenor, you're going to go for a Canalea, but if you want a jumbo tenor sound, if you want a tenor sound on steroids, then this is also completely worth the money. They do it in Mango and Mahogany as well. We're going to look at the Mango one now. This is a particularly light Mango one, very, very light spalted Mango, but still with quite a straight grain, making for a more direct sound. You have the abalone rosette with the ebony fingerboard and bridge, 38mm nut width, that headstock with those closed back tuners. Yeah, the Grand Tenors, well deserving of their name, and a fantastic glimpse at what you would get if you were to order a custom from Pepe Romero Jr. himself. I'm going to give the Grand Tenors a play and see what you guys think. there you have it, folks. We've looked at 8 Romero Creations, just arrived here at the Southern Ukulele Store and available at the time of filming. Which was your favourite? If you're interested in one of these or want to find out more, you can check out the individual listings. The links to these are in the description of the video, or you can find them at ukulele.co.uk. If you have any questions, you can email me, alex@ukulele.co.uk, or you can call the team 01202 430 820. In case you're after more of this kind of thing, stick around. I'm going to be looking at Ohana hopefully later this week, and there are some videos probably on the side of the screen now that show off other Romero Creations demos we've done in the past. Anyway, folks, I'm Alex. Have a great day and I'll see you soon.